Welcome back to another exciting, in my opinion, episode of the Jesse Rucinski Show, which goes back to the Keystone XL Pipeline and all of that. Everything associated with it. I talked about this forever ago, it seems, just because so much is happening. We're up to like 40, at least 40 executive orders. Like a lot has been happening. But I want to get back into that. Not the job losses, because we've already gone over the number of the job losses, and it's ridiculous. And him saying, any of them saying you could just find another job is ridiculous. The amount of money that they made doing that in the years it took for them to even get to that point, and the money they're going to lose regardless of what they go to make solar panels, like John Kerry said. Like, you know how much money they were making doing that? Like, making solar panels. It's already, like, it happening. It's not going to, like, they're not going to be able to afford well over six-figure paycheck that most of them are making a year to do that. And you have to mine that stuff, which means all the stuff that goes into mining that all kinds of people are talking about happens. And you need oil and gas to run all of those processes. I don't care who you are, you need them to do it. Just saying. For all the people that don't know, people think I'm crazy, you need them to do that process. It's just the way it is. It's still going to burn stuff. And John Kerry saying, well, you could just find other jobs. Really, how are they going to make $250,000 to $300,000? If not, a little less, maybe a little more, doing that? Like, how is their life going to be, fixed by you could just find a job doing that if they don't actually have the program going to make all those jobs back? Like, I'm waiting for someone to tell me that. I really am. I hope they can give me an answer, but how are they going to make up for all the amount of jobs lost and the wages lost to make solar panels? Like, it's a real question. Especially when you go into the process of mining, which takes, no matter what, to refine all those, takes oil, gas, all those, to run everything they need to do it. And John Kerry's there with his own private airplane. The government has over 60 just planes for diplomats, let alone other vehicles to transport them. You need those things to make them. When are they going to, we don't even have the technology, last time I checked, to make airplanes be able to fly very far distances, if any, with solar power. Like, it's not capable. So why did we shut them down without having anything to back them up? And that's just because that's just what they want to do. It had nothing to do with workers, had nothing to do with the environment. That's what they said they want to do. Even all the scientists working inside of the Paris Climate Accord and all that said, what? It's not going to make any difference to our emissions. It doesn't. And John Kerry even said we make 5% of the world's emissions. If we got rid of us, we'd still have a 95%, damage that they were doing. If we went down to zero. So why do we need to kill all these jobs, our energy prices, gas, oil, all natural gas? All natural gas is super clean. Compared to everything else, the emissions it puts out is amazing. Why do we need to go and do that? Like, get rid of it. I want just to do it when the rest of the world is doing everything, which is why we got out of the Paris Climate thing. Because we were paying way more than anyone else, even though we were producing way less emissions than everyone else. They were just taking advantage of us being a superpower and taking all our money. Same thing goes into the WHO. That's another argument. I'm not getting into that today. But, we rejoined them. For what? Like, they're still going to fly around their private jets and all their airplanes and all that, regardless if they kill our energy. Which means we're going to turn around and have to give state sponsors of terror like Iran and, Russia, who you never know. Hundreds of billions of dollars to have any oil because we stopped doing it. For what? Nothing? According to scientists that work on the stuff. I mean, it's all out there. The research is out there. The statements are out there. Everything is out there. I don't know how people have missed it. I wish people didn't. But it's like people that voted for Biden that worked on the pipeline. They're, oh my God, this is like, what's happening? Like, he said he was going to do it. Like, how are you surprised? I said I never said, like he went back and forth so many times. That's what he's going to do with fracking. And, well, here you are. Pipeline dead. First day. And now you're out of a job. A very well-paying job. And they say replace it with solar panels. What's that going to do to fix anything? Like, especially when it comes to that much money. How is that going to help your life? I'm waiting for you to find, like, someone give me a real answer. Because I haven't found it. Especially as John Kerry himself has his own private plane, which puts out way more emissions while he's flying around than pretty much most of the country puts out combined in a year. Just on one flight. Airplane emissions while he's flying here, there, and everywhere. It costs, emissions. And all kinds of things. And all we're doing is giving money to our enemies and state sponsors of terror. Like, I don't get it. And then they get into, well, it's bad for the environment. Well, I mean, so what's worse for the environment, you people? The pipeline, which has zero emissions at all, it would transfer it from wherever it had to go to wherever it was to wherever it had to go. You know what's transporting it while the pipeline wasn't done? Was trains, which have lots of emissions. And now that the pipeline's dead, like that's all it's going to be. And then how do you think it's going to get here from other countries as we're not producing? It's going to get here by boat, which has emissions. Way more emissions than a pipeline ever would. And we're not going to be producing, which means the price is going to go up. Taxes are going to go up again. According to Pete Buttigieg, he's trying to do it. He's thinking about doing it. Like, what in the hell did that accomplish at all? That's as far as I'll go with profanity. What in the hell did it accomplish by doing that? Nothing, as far as I'm concerned. Like, literally. Oh, we're trying to save the environment by making it so only trains can transport this stuff instead of a zero-emissions pipeline. And they have to drag it overseas on boats to get it here, which have emissions, because they're still in that world. Like, that is the lifeblood of the world's economy, is oil and all that, natural gas, coal, all that. That's what still runs everything. And all you people fell for it. And now here we are. And there's lots of people out of jobs. And he's saying, what? We'll replace them with solar panel jobs. Like, what do you think's going to happen? They go and raise taxes. And people aren't making solar panels steel anymore. They ship them overseas because they don't want to pay the tax rate, which we saw for 8 years. And during NAFTA, Joe Biden, sponsored and was there for. Like, we went through it all, but no one paid attention. Like, how is spending hundreds of billions of dollars we already didn't, which we were already under a deficit, on energy, because we're not producing anymore, how is that going to be good for anyone? Reduces jobs, you pay more, you make less money. I mean, you're making as much, but you're spending more on the pumps. If they don't raise your taxes, I mean, that's not good for anyone. So, maybe I'm just confused trying to figure out how that's a good thing. Because the government, we're going to change all of our vehicles to electric. Yeah, your whole fleet's going to go electric. What about Air Force One and all the private jets? Well, you can't make them electric because we haven't figured, last I checked, no one's figured that out. Which means you're still going to be burning through all kinds of oil and gas, except you're going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars from other countries to even get it. Instead of making it yourself, which keeps it, lower. For y'all, let alone the average citizen. Like, we figured all this out. We produce our own. We were right around the number one, last I checked, for oil, natural gas, coal, all that. We were the one. And now we gave it all away for this, of the environment. Because we have an environment czar, which does not sound terroristical anyway. Communist. Whatever you want to put with someone that has a czar at their title. Now, what do we get? Like, I think the prices aren't, they won't notice the jump because, well, screw it. We're already at a deficit every year. Why not make it bigger so we can keep importing this stuff? The people that, work in the country are going to be the ones feeling it. Like, it's just common knowledge. They're still going to have their airplanes and their everything, and those aren't, by any means, electric. Which means they're going to be still using all that stuff that we're no longer producing. And a lot of people are out of a lot of money and a lot of jobs because of this. And there's lots of people going, yay! But Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. If we're not producing it and our numbers aren't low, like we're going to import it, which means we're going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars as a country, which means the prices are going to go up. And they're talking about raising the taxes on gas. It's going to make it even higher. Like, I don't know how that makes sense to anyone. I try not to be on one side or the other a lot, but, how in the hell does that make sense to anyone? Like, I'm literally confused as to how that makes any sense to anyone. But hey, look, we're saving the environment. Yeah, you can get new jobs. Like, they didn't say anything about replacing those jobs with making solar panels. Like, we didn't have a statement as how they're going to replace that very, highly paying and very skilled job with anything. I said, you can go jobs doing this. But you haven't made a plan to make, to expedite and make, new jobs and all those, plentiful for people to replace those things so they can make them as much money as they lost with what they were making with the pipeline. Because the pipeline actually had zero emissions once it's done. Unlike trains, who are now going to, transport everything until we stop making our own, which he's already put in an executive order to stop all of that. I don't want to be a crazy person. I don't mean to be a crazy person, but how does any of that make sense to anyone at all? You in the wide world of space. The interweb, as one of my former Marines used to say. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. I'll even throw doesn't, which I said before, like he did. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Well, it doesn't. They're still going to be flying their things, their planes and all their vehicles, which are still powered by that. But they're talking about, stopping all production here, raising the tax rate on gas. How is that good for anyone? Your truck drivers, anyone. The companies have to pay for the gas as a truck driver. What happens when they're tired of paying? It's just not anything good for anyone that works anywhere. So, maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I've sat around too long this week. I don't know. But, it doesn't make sense. And I wish that more people would look into things and think about it, which I keep saying. The information is there. You can educate yourself on all of this. So please do. I encourage it. Have conversations with people. We haven't in many years, but you can. I've done it. Y'all have done it. You gotta sit there and have a conversation with someone. The second they go crazy, you're just like Fox News or you're nuts, like the conspiracy theorists. No, really, here's the stuff. Let's sit down and talk. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all. But the Keystone XL Pipeline is just the beginning of it. If they're going to keep going after everything, tax rates are going to keep going higher on gas and stuff, and then we're not producing it, which means we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars as a country to get it, and then we're farther screwed. It doesn't take much common sense to figure it out. But, again, I don't want to make anyone feel stupid. I just want people to start a conversation and actually learn how to talk again. Because we lost how to do that a very long time ago. Really, it's only been a couple of years, but it seems like an eternity. So again, just have conversations, talk to each other, look stuff up, try to figure it out. Just remember all y'all's comments, no matter who you are, what side you're on, I appreciate them. I like to have open conversation with people because we used to before it got so stupid and people started calling each other domestic terrorists and you're this and you're that. Name calling started. That's not what made us great. We had open conversations. That's what made us great. So try to do that again. And, share, comment, do whatever you want with this thing. Tell me I'm an idiot. I don't care. But just start open conversation because we haven't had it in so long when it comes to anything. And I appreciate everyone that likes it. I appreciate everyone that watches. I appreciate every single one of you. So share, comment, follow me wherever. And we'll get back to this at another date. I'm sure I'll go back to it. But until then, just have conversations. Intelligently, calmly, which doesn't happen very often. And until the next time we meet, I wish you the best. Have a good weekend. And peace. Until the next time, my friends. So, deuces. I'm out.